In this video, we're going to cover another conditional structure that allows us to do selective execution of code, and it's called a switch statement. Okay. So a switch statement is equivalent in its functionality to a series of else if statements. So we'll start with one and do kind of a conversion. So in this program, I'm doing pretty simple one here. I'm having the user enter an integer x, an integer y. Okay. I'm not doing any checking at all. And then asking them to enter some operation. I'm doing a plus, minus, and a multiplication. I'm not doing a divide because I didn't want to have to deal with the division by zero. That would just muddy the water, so we're not going to do that. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to say if the operator is equal to the plus, then do a plus, return that value. Else if it's minus, do the minus. Else if it's the star, do a multiplication. Else we say it's an invalid operator. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with doing this at all. But sometimes we want to do the switch is a little bit different. Okay, so again, it does the same thing. So let's get rid of all this stuff and talk about the switch. Okay, the switch can be a little more efficient to code sometimes, but it has its own set of issues. So let's do a switch. For the switch, we have to tell it which variable that we're going to figure out what we're doing on. Okay, so we have to check that has to be a single variable here. Okay, we're switching on operator. Okay. We're then going to define a series of cases. So we're going to do a case one. Okay. I don't want a case one. I want a case, sorry. I want a case plus. Okay. So I'm saying if OP is equal to plus, okay, then I want to see out X plus Y. Okay. It's important I put a break here. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. It doesn't like something that I've done. I wonder why. It's really strange. The break should be lining up. So I've got my switch, I've got my case, the colon. It's because I did. This is, there we go. Now we're good. That's what I did do. I did put curly braces because we have to do curly braces on our structures. So this is not, we can't do switch statements in Python. So this is new for us. Okay. So if it's the case that it's the plus, it's going to do this. Okay. We have other cases. It could be the case that it is a minus. Okay. In which case we're going to see out X minus Y. Okay. Another break. It could be the case that we've got star, in which case we're going to see out X star Y. Break. And finally, we have our default. The default is if none of the other cases work out, or we'd see out valid. Okay. Got that closed. So we don't need a break here because we're already at the end. Okay. So again, when we enter our X, we enter our Y, we enter our operator, it's going to switch based on the value of op. If it's a plus, we're going to do this. Okay. Minus, we're going to do that. Star, we're going to do that. Anything else, we're going to say invalid operator. Okay. The break is important because one of the quirky features of the switch that you can actually use to your advantage, and we'll do a forced example of this to see, okay, is that if without the break, it's going to just keep going through all the other cases. Okay. So if I were to get rid of the break here, okay, let's run it, see if we have any errors. I knew something was weird there. 134. The spacing looked weird. I knew it was going to come back and get me. Oh, I put uh, a colon instead of semicolon. That fixed that? Yeah. See, that was off. That was my clue that I didn't pay attention to, although I did notice it. Okay. So let's try it now. Actually, let's try it the correct way first. Okay. It's not like we tested before. We'd have caught that error. Okay. So let's do this. We're good. We're going to run it. Okay. So if I say, um, get rid of this guy first, which you can't see, but I can. Okay. So we're going to enter 3, 4 plus. We're good. We get a 9. Okay. If I say 5, 4 minus, I get a 1. Okay. And while we're at it, we'll go ahead and test out a 3, 4 multiply, we get a 12. And if we do a 4, 2 slash, which is not correct, we have an invalid operator. Okay. So let's look what this break does for us. Without the break, so if I put the 2 slashes there, it makes it a comment. I'll do that there as well. So we have no breaks anywhere. Okay. Compile it again. We get no errors. It's okay. When we run it, if I say 3, 4 plus, it does all of those options. Okay. So what it does, we look at the code. Once it hits this line of code, there's no break. It just keeps going all the way down. Okay. So that's why the breaks are important. And we can use this. And again, I'm going to do I won't do the rest of the code all the sudden equal to something. But let's say instead of these, let's do a forced example. Let's say we know we're going to have a number between 1 and 10. Say int n is equal to 5, for example. Okay. And I want to figure out if it's even or odd in a very convoluted way. Okay. So I could do a switch on n. You can stack up cases here. And if any of them are true, it does what's in that code. Okay. So I could do the following. I could say case for it to be odd, I could do case 1, case 3, case 5, case 7. No, this is a very bad way to do this program, but I'm proving a point here, or showing a point. Or case 9, okay, I could see out number is odd. Okay. Then do a break. And then do a case 2, case 4, case 6, case 8, or case 10. We're going to see out number is even. Of course, using a modulo is a much better way to do this. We're trying to force this example here. Okay. A break here. And then here, just out of range or something. I saw this used just the other day. Somebody was doing the months of the days of the month. So in their case, they wanted to know whether it was 28 or 30 or 31. Okay. So it did a case for all the numbers of the months that were 30 and then uh, dealt with it and set that equal to 30 and then all the others that were 31 and so forth. Okay. So in this case, if I enter, let's say I enter a 3, okay, it's going to come here. Case 1, that's not correct. Go to the next one. Case 3, it is correct. So it's going to keep going until it hits a break. It's going to print that it's odd, print break. Okay. If instead I say 8, okay, it's going to go here. Nope. False, 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 false. So it skips that down to here. False, 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 false. Okay, now that's true. So now I execute the next line, the next line. Now I break to the end. Okay. So it just allows you a bigger area to catch. So if any of these things are true, we're going to do this. Okay. So that's in the right case, that's an advantage it can have over an if else. Okay. Then you can have a series of discrete values rather than having to check for all of them. Okay. So the place that we use the switches probably most frequently are going to be in menu. So let's take a quick look at what a menu could look like. Okay, so in this case, we're going to, let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so let's say I'm going to have an int c equals 0. It's going to be my choice variable for my menu. Okay, I'm then going to see out the word menu, get a new line there. Okay, and then I'm going to have a see out my first menu item 1. We say hi. This is highly original, highly compelling code. See out menu item 2 would be say bye. You didn't see that one coming, did you? And then menu item 3 will be exit the program. Okay. So that'll appear on the screen. So I'm going to do a see out here. In the menu case, we can often just do something like that. That's two equal signs and a greater than. That may be hard to read on that screen. Okay. So it's going to see out that, it's going to see in that C that we're looking for. Okay. Again, I'm not checking to make sure they're integers. We'll worry about that later. But then I can do a switch on C. Okay. And this is a way to nicely organize this. So I can have a case 1. This is where they said, say hi. So I'm going to see out hi. The break to avoid hitting all of them. I'm going to do a case 2, if they enter a 2. It doesn't like something because it didn't go over. So I've got my bracket there. I've got a case 1. No, that should be, those are colons. Semicolon, semicolon. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that. We'll see. I'm sure I've done something wrong now. See out by break. And those are semicolons. Yeah. Yeah, it's super unhappy. And I'm not really sure why. Well, we'll just keep going on like we know what we're doing. And then anything else basically. So our default, there won't be a default. It's exits. So we go on. So that's all we have to worry about. Okay. We have to end that. So let's see what in the heck I did. I'm sure you're probably looking at it like, I see what you did. Well, let's see. Let's run it and compile it. It's going to give me an error, but we'll see. Doesn't like something. I forgot the errors again. What is my deal? I don't know. Oh, and I've got it spelled that wrong. I tell you, I'm losing my mind. 2 errors. So int C was the first one. This one I forgot. The arrows there and the arrows there. It's a long day. Okay. So that should take care of it. Okay, so we run this now. Hopefully it will work. Nope, something else. I can't type switch apparently. It didn't turn purple. I should have known that. Now I should be okay. Now we're okay. Okay, so now let's run it. So we have the little menu here. I should have put a space there, but 1 will say hi. 2 will say bye. Anything else, we'll exit. Okay. So sorry for that convoluted example, but when you have a menu for all your menu items that you'll have, and if I hit the tab key, you'll see that this is lined up correctly now. Okay. So again, we're testing on C. If C's 1, we do whatever's here, break. If C's 2, whatever's here, and break, and so forth. Okay. So you never have to use a switch, um, but sometimes it just makes the flow of your program look a little better. So it's certainly something that we can use if we need to. Okay. So in the last video, we'll be talking about how to nest these structures. So have an if within an if, or we can have a switch with an if inside, or all those things. Okay. So we'll talk about those in the next video.